Hello. Hello, beautiful people. It's nice and early-ish. I think it's 7:28. Get me, 7:28. I thought I'd come on here today and do my live rather than walking down the towpath or the road, because either way it can get a bit noisy, and I do get a little bit distracted sometimes, and my head's all over the place. So I don't know how other people feel about that, but even though I enjoy doing my lives from those places, and I've got my vegan shake this morning, as per usual. I wanted to come on and talk about, oh, excuse me, oh, that's lovely, change being the only constant. And I talk about this a lot. I do talk about this a lot, and the reason why I talk about it is because people are scared of change. People fear it. And they fear it because they fear the unknown. And basically what happens is when you start to fear and go into a level of fear, your energy level drops, your vibration drops, because you start living your life from a place of fear, which in effect takes you into the doubt, and all of those kind of negative mindsets and mindsets that you have. But yet there's nothing to fear, really, when you think about it. I mean, I need to put my glasses on because I can't see and I'm really hot. If I think about my life, especially over the past 5 years, more so over the past 5 years than any time of my life, I've had significant change going on. And it's been quite interesting because not only has that made me look at me as an individual, how I conduct myself, and what I'm doing in my life, it's also made me evaluate my beliefs and my values. Now, have I dashed some of my beliefs? Hell yes. Have I changed many of my values? No. I'll speak in a sec. Have things changed dramatically in my life? Yes. So 5 years ago, I had a family. A whole family. Yeah? Sisters, dad, yeah? I had, best friends. And with sequence of events, that all changed. Now, what that did, again, that made me look at my values and how I am as an individual. Because if I hadn't have done that, if I hadn't have reviewed myself and gone within and started to look at how I behave and what I do, I would have stayed stuck in a place where I was surrounded by people that actually were just dumping their shit on me, to be fair. And when you sit and think about the options, stay stuck and be around people that drag your energy level down because of their behaviours, or walk away into the unknown. And I could have walked away. Well, I did walk away to the unknown. I've walked away to the unknown. It was an unknown thing for me to not have my family around me. But in all due respects, they was never really around me too much anyway, because I've always been very much of an individual flyer, a soloist really, where I've gone off and searched out there for my own life. Because growing up as a child, as you develop your own value system and your own belief system, one of the key things for me was about loyalty, really, and having people around me that are loyal. Because to me, that's really important. And that's just one of my own values. It's really important. Loyalty to me is important. Yeah? Just like integrity. So if someone says they are going to do something, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing is irrespective. If they say they are going to do something, they do it. right? If they say they're going to go somewhere, they go. If they say they're going to, you get the gist, right? You get the gist. What you say and what you do must match. And there was a lot going on around me at that time where people were saying, what they were saying and what they were doing didn't match. In fact, they were either end of the spectrum. And I won't go into the detail because that's not relevant. But what's relevant here is I had to evaluate myself. And I looked at myself and I was like, well, hang on a second, loyalty. Should loyalty and integrity be one of my values? Because it's quite clear to me that the closest people around me don't operate from the same value system that I do. And of course, no, I'm not going to drop those values. I'll never drop those values because those values are what made me question the behaviour in the first place. Because to me, loyalty and integrity are the two key values that I would look for in a friendship of any sorts. And loyalty and integrity are two things I look for within myself, firstly. Because if I'm not operating that way, I can't expect anybody else to. And that's key. That's key. There's been some, oh, hi Lisa. There's been some, right, so we're talking about change being the only constant. Now, I do change, transformational change. That's what I do, okay? It's my work. That's what I do as part of my mentoring program. It's all about change and moving people from one mindset to another mindset, of empowering them to do that because they want to do that themselves. But sometimes things are forced on you. Things are forced on you and you have to deal with them. And you have a choice. So all that stuff that went on with me and my family, a lot of that was forced on me because I didn't ask them to treat me that way. They decided to. Okay? So I had two choices. I either allowed that to continue and accepted the hypocrisy of it and gone against everything I believe, my values. Or I stepped away and I went into the unknown. So I chose the unknown. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm going to get upset now, but I love my family. But, and it's not even a big but, this is a real but. I will not live in a world of hypocrisy. I will not be around people that are hypocrites. I cannot do it. It triggers me left, right, and centre because it doesn't sit with who I am. So, and that goes for my friends. Anybody I meet along the way, if they are living in a world of hypocrisy, that's their choice. They can choose to live there. I am not interested. I will not live my life from that place. I refuse to, because I know what it does to your soul. I know what it does to you as an individual, especially if that is not part of your value system or your belief system. Something's popped up on my computer. I cannot express how damaging that is to keep yourself in a situation that doesn't align with your soul and your spirit. It's toxic. Absolutely toxic. Now, the hardest thing for me is that was my family. They're supposed to be, in my book, it's only my values and it's only my opinion, and you can take this with a pinch of salt, right? But I just felt compelled to come on and talk about it because I've been guided to talk about it. I was guided this morning to talk about this, so I thought I'd better come on and do it. So when there are people that are that close to you and you feel so betrayed because you have been loyal to these individuals and they are that close to you and you've had to walk away from that. You know, initially it is a little bit soul destroying because you just think, well, you know. And I know this old saying goes, you can't choose your family, but if you don't accept things like that from people generally in your life, why on earth would you accept it for somebody that's close to you? You wouldn't, would you? You just wouldn't do it. Common sense would tell you that. You know, you'd walk away. No, it's not acceptable. And what happened with me is I started to say, your behaviour is not acceptable. In fact, it's probably started about 14 years ago when I started to say to these people, your behaviour is not acceptable. But because they are your friends, your very close people who you love dearly, you kind of like forgive, but you don't forget. And then they do it again, or something else comes up and it's very similar because you've lowered your standard. You've dismissed your own value. And I'm not saying go off and cut all your family off. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is change is the only constant and there's nothing to fear. Because if there was anything to fear, well, there is nothing to fear. I walked away, you know, and I've got a fantastic life. I've got a fantastic life. I've got nice people around me. I'm doing what I want anyway. And it's a good place to be. Now, the reason I'm coming on and saying all of this, as I said to you, I do change management, and I do this in big corporations. And it's no different, actually, from what I've just described to you, because you get people that work in corporations that actually don't even want to be in a job. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. They can't stand it. They hate it. And most of the time they hate it is because they hate the people that they're working with. You've heard this saying, people don't leave their job, they leave their manager. And that I've seen that time and time again. And if you're working in an organisation or you're doing anything in your life that doesn't sit with your values and your belief system, you're going to have a shit life. You're going to have a shit life. And you will continue to have a shit life if you do not change, if you do not put some things in place to make the changes so that you can start working towards living a life that you want to live. Because we're only here once. You know, we are here. We were here for a very short time. Why do you want to live your life putting up with people's bollocks? You don't have to. And it's the same in corporation. It's the same in business. It's the same in your daily life. It's the same in your love life. It's the same with your family. It's the same with your friends. It's the same with your peer networks. It's the same with social media. It's the same wherever you go. You choose. You choose. You choose to lower your values and not be true to yourself because you fear the unknown. Or you take the bull by the horns, yeah? You take the bull by the horns, you stay true to yourself, and you put one step forward and you just go there and you just see what comes. And because you go true to yourself, when you're true to yourself like this, yeah, it feels quite vulnerable. You know, I feel quite vulnerable right now sitting here saying what I'm saying because I'm speaking about personal things. But to be honest, it's who I am. It's part of me. And I've always maintained that I will not come onto the social medias and pretend that I'm anything different to what I am. And it's that bit, being true to me, my values, it's that bit that's kept me going. And it's kept me on the right path. And it's kept me going forward. Do I fear sometimes? Yes. I'm human. Of course I do. Of course I do. You know, I'm 50 years of age, right? By the time I got up to my birthday this year in April, I'd lost everything I'd known for the previous 50 years of my life. Everything I had known. The constant that was there, my family and my closest friends that had been with me since I was, well, obviously my family since I was born, but my closest friends were since I was probably 5 years of age. Yeah? Everything went. It all went. Everything. That was a bitter fucking pill to swallow. I'm telling you. But I had a choice. I had a choice. I accepted it and I moved. I accepted it and I moved the fuck on. But it took time. Because when that much of a chunk is taken away from you, that is hard to deal with, believe me. But 1 foot forward at a time. And we get to a place and the fear goes, it dissipates. Of course I was in fear for a bit because I didn't know what on earth was going on. Doubt crept in, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm on my own. But actually I've always been on my own. I've always been on my own. Nothing changed. That part never changed. Because when I was looking for loyalty, I was being loyal to people, but when it came to me, there was no one stepping up for me. That's why I went out into the business world the way I did. That's why I went out into academia the way I did. I went out there. I went out to the world because I wasn't getting any validation of any sorts from my family. So I went out into the world and to find my validation. But I'm not saying that was the right thing to do either. But at that point in my life, that's the direction I took. I went out into the world to get validation. I sat in a boardroom because I wanted to do that. That's what I wanted. I wanted to sit in a boardroom. I wanted to be top of my game, and I got there and I did that. You know, I went to university, not once, twice. I changed industries, God knows how many times. You know, and I'm not saying this to brag and boast. I'm saying this because I was trying to find my place in the world. But what I forgot about during that whole period was me. I forgot about me. So when I was chasing the money and chasing that boardroom status and chasing that validation and chasing externally, inside, I was dying. I was dying. My soul was dying. And it was dying because I didn't know how to connect with me. I didn't know how to connect. Because all of the non-validation that was coming from my family, I was dismissing it. And look, I'm not saying they're wrong and I'm right. This is not what this is about. But people's actions will affect you. People's behaviour will affect you. People's words will affect you if you don't have a soul purpose and a soul connection. So change for me throughout my life has definitely been a constant. At one point I was moving every 3 years, which then went into my business world where I was moving industries every 3 years. And I think that's why I love the work that I do, the consultancy work, because you're not there for a long period of time. You go in, you do some work, and you go and you leave, and then you go off to somewhere else. So for me, I actually thrive with change. Change for me is a good thing, because change for me always brings new experiences. It brings new experiences for us to learn lessons from. So never be scared of change, because once you step forward and you release and let go of whatever it is that was going on behind you, you've got space. You have space. And there's space available for new people, new energy, new experiences to come in. And it's all of these things that come into your life that help you grow. They help you grow as an individual. Who wants to be stuck in a mindset where you are on the floor with everything about you? Who wants to be there? None of us. None of us want to be there. Nobody really wants to be in that situation, ever. Nobody really wants to get up every morning, go to work, and flipping well can't stand the fact that they're going to this particular place every single day of their life that's making them feel ill because the values and the morals and whatever else is going on there does not align with you as an individual. Who really wants that? No one. Who really wants to be stepped all over by other people because they think they can do that? No one. So change, my friends, is the only constant in our life. And for you to get what you want from your life, you need to accept and embrace it. Because only you can make that change. Only you can put that one foot forward so that you can start moving towards a life that you want to live. Loyalty got me fucking nowhere. It got me nowhere. Because these people dropped me in a fucking instant to save their own neck. Excuse my language. Naughty lady. Good job it's no kids are about, isn't it? But I'm being honest here. But it doesn't mean to say I would drop my values of being a loyal individual, because that's who I am. But loyalty, where my family were concerned, got me nowhere, because I was dropped, bomb. And they don't care. They're not interested. And that is the same for a lot of people out there. The only loyalty, which is the lesson I learned, that you should have is the loyalty to yourself. Because if you're loyal to yourself, you'll always be fine. Because you'll always speak your truth. And you will always be you. Not what somebody else wants you to be. Yeah? Not somebody else's opinion of you. You will be you. And that's the key thing. So change, my friends. Embrace it. Do not fear. Do not fear change. Because change can be the best thing that ever happens to you. Believe me, I'm living proof. And on that note, if you've joined me, thank you so much for joining. And yeah, well, I hope you got something from that anyway. And I'm going to have my canal walk with myself today and just enjoy it. I want to just enjoy it, just be in nature, look around, maybe take a few pictures on the way to work, and just really enjoy that rather than having a chinwag on the old social media. So have a fantastic day. And if any of you are interested in my mentoring program, then which is designed to help people through change, then please do contact me. I'd love to work with you. Okay. But on that note, take care, my lovelies. Have a fantastic day. Okay. And get rid of fear. Bye.